What's up, everybody? This is the third part of the series, How to Improve Your Speaking and Prepare Better for Your Spoken Exam. Today we'll be discussing IELTS Speaking Parts 2 and 3. First, there will be a short overview of these parts, followed by some example questions, tips and useful phrases. After that, there will be a practice activity for you. Let's begin! Quick question. Have you watched my previous videos from this series? If not, I'd highly recommend you to watch the first part, How to Improve Your Speaking, and the second part about IELTS Speaking Part 1. It will give you a much better idea how to improve your speaking in general and prepare better for your spoken exams. And here is a little riddle for you. Look at these two boxes. What comes first, red or blue? Which one is part 2 of the exam and which one is part 3? Can you match the descriptions with the parts? After you've finished, move on to the next slide. Here is the answer. Is it the same as yours? The red box comes first. Part 2 is an individual long turn. You get a task card with a topic and some points to talk about. You have some time to prepare and take notes. And then you have 1 to 2 minutes to talk. After that, you might be asked 1 to 2 follow-up questions. The blue box is part 3. This is a discussion that follows part 2. You discuss the topic from the previous part in more detail. You might also get some more general questions. This tests your ability to express and justify opinions and to analyze, discuss and speculate about issues. Here is an example cue card from part 2. Here is a task and some follow-up questions. Read it and think. Can you try to answer the questions? Remember, you have 1 minute to prepare and take notes and up to 2 minutes to speak. If you're not sure how to do it, then here is some help. So on this slide you can see the cue card from Speaking Part 2 again. Below the cue card there are some tips, things you should do and shouldn't do when you deliver your response. On the right, there is the list of some phrases that you might find useful in your speaking. These phrases will make your speech more fluent and coherent. Try to use some of these phrases in your speaking. Here is an example answer. The food I like most is probably vegetarian pizza. And it's made of the following ingredients. First, you have to make dough, for which you need flour, water, and yeast. After you've finished making your dough, you can put some ingredients on top of that, including tomato sauce, some vegetables, mushrooms, and sprinkle it with cheese. After that, pizza has to be baked in an oven for some time. And after it's ready, you have to take it out from the oven and maybe put some basil on top and some olive oil. I first had it when I was a kid and we traveled to Italy. And I remember that the pizza at that time was really delicious. And I've been having and making it ever since. I like it because it's fresh, crispy, and comes straight from an oven. And you can put different ingredients on top. And it also reminds me of that trip to Italy. After you finish part 2, you move to part 3, where you will be asked some follow-up questions. Look at the questions here. As you can see, the topic is still the same, but the questions are more general, about diet and eating habits of people from your country. Can you think of any answers? If you're not sure, then here is some help. Let me give you 3 tips for this part. First, generalize. Talk about people in general and not about yourself. Look at the questions. Do people eat in restaurants? What is the typical diet of people in your country? Why do some people enjoy eating out? Second, give your opinion. Do you think diet is important? use one of the useful phrases from the right. Third, give reasons and specific examples from your life or your experience. For instance, why do some people enjoy eating out? Well, it might be because they want to hang out with friends or want to save time on cooking. Or there might be some other reasons. Give them. Here is another cue card with the typical topic from Speaking Part 2. Can you complete it now? Look at the topic and the following points. Please note the question words in bold. What, where, when, why, how. They will help you to think of some ideas and make quick notes. Let's move to the next slide. Here is how you can prepare and organize your speech. Brainstorm the topic and write down some keywords. What place was that? Where was that? What did you see there? When did you visit? Why did you visit that place? How does it compare to others? If you write down some keywords or phrases, your answer is almost ready. So these are the notes that I've taken for this part. As you see, these are only the most essential words and phrases, and you can build your speech upon them. So you can say, for example, that the place that I visited was Longtuan Mountains, and it's located in Lishui Prefecture, Zhejiang Province in China. Around these Longtuan Mountains, you can see very high mountains, waterfalls and springs, so a lot of natural places and natural beautiful scenery. There are also some old villages with traditional buildings around, some protected areas that you can visit where you can see some exotic plants and animals. I first visited that place 2 years ago in May, during May Day in China, which is a national holiday. The reason I visited that place was that I'm really fascinated by the landscape, by the green mountains and rice fields and the villages located at the bottoms or tops of the mountains. I love going hiking, and there are a lot of tourist trails that I could visit to climb the mountains. And I also enjoy the local food, for example, bamboo shoots, which is a traditional dish that you can have where you visit this place. How does it compare to others? Well, first of all, these places are not very crowded, which is not the case with some other tourist attractions in China. I met very nice hosts in the guest houses where I stayed. They were very hospitable and friendly. And these places were reasonably priced, which means it didn't cost me a fortune to visit them. Right, so this is how you approach this part. And here is the final task for you. Discuss the follow-up questions in Speaking Part 3. You have to talk about tourism in general, about attitudes to tourism and conserving the countryside. Please use the words, phrases and tips that we discussed earlier in this video. Good luck! And the very last thing for today. Your IELTS spoken exam will be assessed using the following criteria. How fluent and relevant your speech is, how good is your vocabulary, how well you can use different grammar structures, and how clear and easy to understand is your pronunciation. Please keep that in mind when you will be practicing for IELTS or any other spoken exam. I wish you good luck. Goodbye.